Welcome to the Coaching Edge podcast with your co-hosts, Dr. Steve Jeffs and Erwin de Grave. Each episode, we bring you expert guests and transformative coaching insights. Let's dive in.
Welcome. I'm Dr. Steve Jeffs. I'm here with my colleague Erwin de Grave, and we are really excited to be talking with a fantastic coach that I've worked with before, trained with, written a book with, Lisa Gregory. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here today. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
We're excited to have you here, Lisa. I could certainly tell a lot of stories, but maybe that's for another podcast. But for now, could you give a brief intro to yourself, your work, and the type of coaching that you do?
Sure, happy to. So I come at coaching in a roundabout way. I think all of us have our own unique paths to it and our past lives. My past life was being a corporate trainer, a training design developer, manager, leader, vice president, working in corporate America. I got into coaching actually by working with a company that Steve was working with at the time, who were creating a new strengths coach certification program. They asked me to come as a training designer and manager and to look at it. I went through the course and got hooked. I like this strengths thing. And I had used it with some of my employees. I'm a coach-like leader naturally. And so the principles of coaching that were taught resonated well. And then I got pulled into the world of coaching and have since started my fourth business. This one's all around coaching and working with others. So that's how I got into coaching, was actually with Steve and strengths as a strengths-based coach.
I love it. You said your fourth business. What are the other three, and how does all of that work?
Well, I know more about car brakes than you would ever guess. So about 13 years ago, my husband and I started our first business together, which is a mobile brake repair company. We're located just outside Washington, D.C. in Virginia. So we started the Brake Squad, so a home-based on home services, automotive services business. A few years later, we came on another technology and we started another company that gets rid of odors in homes. I started consulting and coaching under my own brand in 2014. And then most recently, my husband started another business and he does pinball repair. So we just kind of do everything. The bottom line is we love business. We love finding a problem, finding a solution, a unique solution to that problem, and then bringing that solution to the marketplace. Love, love, love doing that. And we love employing other people who get to work in their passion areas.
Well, that's very nice. And certainly it's a very interesting combination between business and coaching. So I think you probably know what the importance is of business within coaching and what coaching is. So, but really specifically, I just want to go very quickly. What is your specific expertise or your superpower in coaching?
Yeah. So I focus on leadership development and leadership coaching, everything from the C-suite down to frontline managers, how to be more effective as a leader, get more out of yourself, and help build your team in an interdependent way so that everybody grows. So mostly leadership coaching. Some of the tools I use are strengths. I love using strengths as a tool, communication, lots of tools to get there. But the core, I would say, is self-leadership and executive leadership, corporate leadership.
So what's the biggest challenge that you see when you do coaching, and certainly the leadership coaching? What's the biggest challenge that you repetitively see when you work with clients?
I think the biggest challenges I see are blindness and fear.
Blindness for what? Blindness for not seeing things, or?
Mm-hmm. Either not seeing themselves and how they're contributing to the situations that are frustrating them, not seeing the positive contributions that other people can bring to the table, not seeing the true root cause of the problem. And whether they're conscious of that blindness or unconscious of that blindness, there's an element of fear. I'm not enough. Someone's going to find out that I don't know everything. I won't be able to solve this. I can't fix it. there's an element of fear. And then you wrap that all into a beautiful package that's surrounded by, I can't tell anybody because I don't want anybody to know that I'm blind, and I don't want anybody to know that I'm afraid. And it's a beautiful place then for us to enter as coaches, because we're safe, we're not in their day-to-day work environment, we're okay with the fear and the blindness, and our job is to provide a space where they can explore and really see, where am I blind, and to reduce the fear. And then, of course, we give them tools and tactics to come out of that fear and out of that blindness and be more effective.
So I certainly understand now that you like strengths, because at that moment you probably work with those leaders looking at, hey, what actually is your strength and what are the weaknesses that you don't have to be afraid about, and that we can find the right people in your team, or if it's not in your team, find outside your team to really help you to fill out those weaknesses. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Cool. So leadership. So you mentioned something about, and I'm just mentioning it before, about business and coaches. You got 4 businesses. One of them is coaching. We've seen a lot of times that the business side for coaches is a challenge, because they're just more focusing on the coaching. So how have you, when you stepped into the coaching business, how have you been keeping an eye on the business side, and what are things that you can recommend to other coaches around this?
I think the biggest thing coming into any business, whether it's coaching business or any other business, is the mindset needs to shift. Most people start a business because they're a practitioner. They like the thing that they do. As coaches, we love helping people. We like helping people with certain problems. We like helping certain types of people with certain types of problems. That's what we do. We're a practitioner. Brakes, we started a mobile brake repair company. My husband changed brakes. He liked doing that. But when you get into business, the biggest mind shift, one of the biggest mindset shifts that has to happen, is for you to realize, no matter what business I'm in, no matter what my passion is, my first job is sales and marketing. My main job is not coaching. My main job is sales and marketing. My main job is not fixing brakes or getting odors out of houses. It's sales and marketing. When you're running a business, that's the differentiator between a passion project or a hobby, something you do for others and as a friend, versus something you do as a business. And that can be really tough for coaches, because we want to just be able to give generously. And until coaches learn how to think about business differently, it feels like, or it can feel like, sales and marketing and the business side of coaching is an inhibitor. It's actually not an inhibitor, but until you really understand it and get good at it, it can feel that way.
Yeah. It's actually true, because if you don't do any sales, you don't have anyone that you can help with your passion. So it's actually, so the sales is crucial to be able to help people and get actually people at the front door, and you get in there. So yes, I fully understand this, that this is crucial.
Yeah.
Hey, one question. So there's a lot of people out there that are struggling to run one business. As you just articulated, passionate about a particular part of the business, ignoring or blind to the need for the others. What's important in your approach to managing 4 businesses simultaneously?
So first I would say nobody needs to do that, by the way. nobody needs to do that. It's working for me. I work with my husband, and I find that having a partner is critical for managing that many businesses. Some people might be able to do it all themselves, but I don't. I would say a couple things are critical for being able to manage that many. First, you have to hire great team members. The first 2 people I always hire in any business, my CPA and my bookkeeper. Those are things that I am not good at. And so and they're very important to a business, so I immediately offload those. So those are the first 2 people I hire in any business. Then I build towards enough revenue that then I can start to offload the other things that I am not good at, that I end up being a bottleneck in my company. So depending on the business, I don't answer phones anymore. I never did breaks. My husband doesn't do breaks anymore, right? We have team members who do all of that so that we can stay focused on the things that only we as leaders can do. And that is sales and marketing. Sales and marketing. Those stay firmly on our plates, even though, at different times we've hired people to help us with all of those. So I would say first is team. And that matters whether you're managing one business or 4 businesses, or some people, Tony Robbins, 67 businesses, right? You've got to have a good team. I think the other thing is I've gotten pretty good at switching. So when I'm in a business, or when I'm in a moment, or when I'm working on a project, it's the only thing that I'm working on. And I don't worry about all the other things. It allows me to switch from home to work and from work to home. Like many of us as coaches, we have the luxury of working at home, and I love that. And I have to switch. When I'm all coaching, I'm all coaching. I'm here with you two now. And hopefully we'll say some things that will help some other people who listen to the podcast. And this is all I'm doing. And the moment this is over, boom, I'm switching and I'm back to 2 other projects that I'm working on. So you just get good at switching. At least that's what I've done.
Good. Actually, what I love about that is whether you're switching from one business to another, I see an opportunity for most of us as coaches to switch from one role to another, whether it's being in a coach role, being in the CEO role, whether it's actually I have to do my account, so I've got to switch into that role. Look, which roles am I ignoring? Sales, marketing, onboarding, client follow-up, client management. And I think there's all these different things that need to get done. And that's what I'm hearing, is that even with the additional complexity of 4 different businesses, you still have to have a vision of what's going on in the businesses and pay attention where attention is needed.
Exactly. Well said. And while you're paying attention to one thing, don't feel guilty about all the other things you're not paying attention to. You will pay attention to them. So just alleviate all of that emotional stress, because it just slows you down.
Yeah. And you mentioned you're working on 2 other projects. Can we know a little bit more about those projects?
Sure. So one of them is the book that I co-authored with Dr. Steve Jeffs, The Magnificent, Stuck No More, Practical Self-Coaching for Everyday Problems. And so that's published, it's up, it's out on Amazon and every other book distributor. And so now we get to do sales and marketing. How do we get this message out to more people who really, really need it? So that's a big project that we're working on right now.
Cool. So just quickly about the book, because we just mentioned it, Stuck No More. What is it about, and what can people take out of the book when they buy the book and read it?
Steve, do you want to answer this one? Since you can speak to it too.
Well, I can, absolutely. So Stuck No More is just that. We want to help people to be, stuck no more. To get unstuck, to get stuck less, to not get as deeply stuck. And Lisa and I wrote this book as a way to, or with the intention of being a coach in the pocket. Not everyone has the luxury, the time, or the space to be able to work with a coach, to spend an hour here, a couple of hours there, to have that resource on tap at the end of a phone line or an email. And so for everyone to be able to reconnect with themselves, their own resources, Lisa, as you said before, to become less blind, to look differently at themselves and the world around them, then this book is a really great reminder. And it's got some tools. There's 4 different tools. There's a handful of questions with experiences, scenarios, stories. It's not theoretical, it's practical. How do we help people get unstuck? That's the bottom line.
Yeah. One of the things that I really love about it is, as a coach, is that we've all had people in our lives, usually they're our actual friends and family, like close family and friends, who are like, oh yeah, I don't need a coach. Like, I wouldn't talk to anybody about my stuff. And what I love about this book is it's like the precursor to one-on-one coaching. It's written for the people who are like, no, I'll figure it out myself. Yeah. Great. Well, here are a few of our best coaching questions in 4 tools that will help you ask yourself the questions that will actually help you get unstuck and get a little bit deeper the hope is that they'll get unstuck, and it will open them up to this idea that, oh, you know what? Talking about stuff and having other people ask good questions can actually be very, very helpful. So I think professional coaches can use it to kind of open some doors to those who are a little bit like, yeah, no coaching, I'm not going to talk to you. Great. You can do it on your own. Here are just a few tools and ideas, some good questions here. Have a book.
So it's something interesting that I want to touch to is that you said, I don't want to do coaching. Do you find also, and I don't know if the book is also focused towards those kind of people to show them what to introduce them to the world of coaching? Because some people, when you say coaching, are you a football coach or are you a tennis coach? So I don't know if that the book is also like the door opener to the coaching world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it also shows that we're not therapists. Though you can feel as good after a coaching session as you do after therapy. I don't know, but we're not therapists. So yes, it introduces them to the world of questions that help you see your blindness and help you see something different, which is at the core of what we do as coaches, I believe.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I want to go quickly, if I can, Steve, connect what you said about coaching and sales. So what would you recommend? Because sales is a part that you're quite good at. So if a coach is talking to some, hey, I'm a coach, and people say, what is coaching? What trick or tip could you give them that would help them to say in a confident way, hey, I'm a coach, that's what I do, and to break that barrier?
Well, I think that actually leans more into the marketing side. It's like, what is your message? For me, the sale part is, here's our contractual agreement, how we're going to work together. And there are some things to overcome in that as a first time or new coach. I remember the first time I charged for my time, I was like, $50. Oh my gosh. I hope I can give $50 worth of value, and now I'm sitting at $350 an hour and I feel totally confident that. So there's, on the sales side, there's a lot to grow. On the marketing side, I think it's figuring out who do you help and how do you help them the most? Who do you want to work with? I work with everybody who has problems. Well, so does a gardener, right? But they have outdoor problems. That's not specific enough. So I think the question is, who do you help? Who do you want to help? Who do you want to be known for helping? And then put that in a 90-second elevator pitch. So I help leaders get more from their teams and reduce the stress that they're under as they make difficult decisions. Oh, that's cool. How do you do that? I do it mostly through one-on-one coaching and a little bit of consulting. Well, how'd you get into that? Well, I'm a former executive and business leader. Oh. So part of that is, what's your story? That's part of your marketing message, right? What's the hook? The hook is that I help people do this thing. And then here's a little bit of the story. And then there's the next step. Sometimes the next step is just to keep answering their questions. Sometimes the next step is, who do you know who's stuck? Who do you know who's a business leader? Who do you know, et cetera? Not who needs coaching. Don't ask that question. They're not informed. Everybody needs coaching. But who do you know who's this kind of person?
Yes, I think that is something that a lot of coaches could learn from, because I help those people achieve this or solve this problem correctly. So,
yeah, brilliant. So, Lisa, if people have questions, how can they best contact you?
Stucknomorebook.com. I said, go there, go to that. That's my favorite website right now. So stucknomorebook.com. You can email us at info@stucknomorebook.com and help get you unstuck, whether your stuckness is around your coaching business or anything else. Yeah, I say that's the best way right now.
well, as last questions is, where are you based? Because of course that kind of thing is also interesting to know.
Yes. So I live just outside Washington, D.C. in the United States. I live in Northern Virginia. I've lived kind of all over. And my next foray is I hope to land some coaching gigs and speaking gigs in Japan. So I speak conversational Japanese and English.
Oh.
And a little slang.
Well, thank you very much, Lisa, for this time with us and sharing your expertise and knowledge and experiences in the coaching and business world. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. It's been my pleasure. Thank you for having me with you today.
Thanks for tuning in to The Coaching Edge. Until next time, keep coaching and keep growing.